Hey out there, and welcome to another Gregory Alan Isakov guitar lesson. Today we're going to take a look at St. Louis' really beautiful and fun to play song. First of all, we need a capo on the 3rd fret, and then we need our typical Gregory Alan Isakov chords. The first one is going to be an E minor, which is open low E string, then 2nd fret on the A and D string, open G, B and E string. The next chord is going to be a G. I'm going to play it in this finger shape, so with my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string, 2nd fret middle finger on the A string, then open D, G and B string, and then pinky on the 3rd fret of the high E string. I use this chord shape because from here it's very easy to switch to our next chord, which is going to be the C over G, ring finger 3rd fret, E string, pinky 3rd fret A string, 2nd fret with our middle finger on the D string, open G string, index finger, 1st fret B string, and then open high E string. The last chord that we need is this exact chord shape slid onto the 3rd fret. Okay, so we have 5 with our ring and pinky on the E and A string, D string, 4th fret, open G string, 3rd fret, index finger on the B string, open E string. A really nice sounding chord. Okay. So with these chords we can take a look at the intro. And the intro is E minor for a full bar, to G for half a bar, to C over G for 1.5 bars, back to G for half a bar, back to C over G for half a bar, and then we start off with E minor again. So the strumming pattern looks like this. We pick the bass on the low E string for our E minor, then do down, up, down, up, leave out the bass this time, and then do down, up, down, up. Okay, so we've got this. And on the up, down, up, we lift up our ring finger on the 2nd fret of the D string to have that transition melody to go to the G. Okay, and for the G, we play bass, down, up, and then pick the A string, the open A string, hammer on with our middle finger onto the 2nd fret and do another down up. Okay, so on the G we've got this. And all together so far we've got, coming from the E minor. And then we pick either the A or the E string, doesn't really matter for the bass note, for our C over G, and do bass, down, 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 up, down, up. And on the up, down, up, we lift up our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string to go back to our G, where we use the same strumming as before, so bass, down, up, A, hammer on, down, up, to go back to our C over G for half a bar, and we play bass, down, up, down, up. And for the last up, down, up, we lift up our index finger from the 1st fret of the B string to go back to our A minor. Okay, E minor, sorry. Altogether, the first chord progression of the intro sounds like this. We start off, play with our E minor and play this whole thing again, but this time around we go to the G at the end of the chord progression instead of going back to the E minor, okay? So after the C over G we go to the G, and then we play bass, down, up, bass, down, up, okay? So we pretty much just play our G with ring and pinky, and we lay our ring finger gently across the A string so that one doesn't ring when we take off our middle finger on the 2nd fret. And then we play bass, down, up, put up our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string and our index finger on the 1st fret of the B string, and then make a pull off on that up strum. Okay, so we have this. We do that for 3 times, and on the fourth time we just stay on the regular G without doing this pull-off thing. Okay, so altogether we've got this. Alright, and then we move into the verse. Good news for the verse is that we can use almost exactly the same chord progression as during the intro. So we play this E minor to G, to C over G, back to G, and this time we don't go from half a bar of C over G to E minor, but we stay on this C over G for 2.5 bars, and we keep on lifting up our middle finger on the second fret of the D string and put it back on. Okay, so we've got this bass, down, up, bass, down, up, down, up. And for the up, down, up, we always lift up the middle finger. After having done this, we go to a full bar of D over A, to C over G, to G, to C over G, and this is the part where he sings the San Luis. Okay, so we've got this. So we play this D over A for 1 bar, then do bass, down, up on the C over G, switch to the G and play bass, down, up, and then back to the C over G. To the C over G again. Okay, so this C over G is just played for the San, bass, down, up, and then for Luis we go back to the C over G. Okay, so altogether it sounds like this. We keep on doing those with our middle finger. So lift it up and back down on the D string. Strumming wise, you can pretty much do anything that you feel like, but he always starts off with that bass pick, and after that he usually does something along the lines of down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. But you can just keep your hand moving in eighth notes and strum the way you feel like. Anything is going to sound fine as long as you play it with feel. And if you want a continuous strumming pattern for this song, I would probably suggest bass, down, up, bass, down, up, because that one's easier to follow along all of these many chord changes. Okay, so bass, down, up, bass, down, up. You can also use that for this part. Up, bass, down, bass, down. But as I already said, just do what you feel like, but of course you can take this suggestion if you like. Okay, so far so good for the verse. Then when we come to that humming part, we just play our G hammer on again to the C over G, up, down, up, lift up index finger, go back to G for 1 more bar, and we do that pull-off thing again. Okay, so. But this time we only do it once, so I actually did it wrong. Just once, and then 1 regular strumming pattern on the G, and then we go into that vocal interlude. So again, so it's G, and that vocal interlude is just the same chord progression from the verse. So E minor to G, to C over G, to G, stay at C over G. Next part that we come to is Oh Highway Boys. I don't know what to call this part, but probably the bridge. Starts with Oh Highway Boys, and we start off on the E minor for a full bar, G for half a bar, C over G for 1.5 bars, just as we know it. But then we go straight back to the E minor for 1 bar, G half a bar, C over G for 2.5 bars. Okay? So we've got this. I just did some variations on this C over G. Yeah, not really what I told you before, I know. So we do this chord progression and then go to D over A, to C over G, to G, to C over G for that St. Louis part again. And we stay for, we do that twice, and we always stay on that C over G and G. I will lift up middle finger again, okay? Then we have the vocal interlude again with the verse chord progression as you know it from before. Then we have that other bridge section which starts off with cutting through the avenues, and that is going to be full bar of D over A, full bar of C over G, to half a bar of G, to 2.5 bars of C over G with our lift up middle finger again. And we do this chord progression twice, so again D over A, C over G 1 bar, G half a bar, C over G 2.5 bars. And then after having done that twice, we go to G for half a bar, C over G for 2.5 bars again with that hammer-on, lift up middle finger, and then we go to our G and do those pull-offs again. 2 bars, so that means we do the pull-offs 3 times, 4th time we just play the regular G. Okay, so that second part of the bridge sounds like this. And from there we move to another verse, starts with California Called You Queen. We have the same chord progression, but this time we have just the slow single strums until the part where he sings You're Somewhere in Between. He then starts strumming on those G and C over G changes. And after that verse we have that I'm a ghost to you, you're a ghost to me, bird's eye view of San Luis part again, which is D over A to C over G to G to C over G. We played 4 times this time around, and the last time we just hold out on that C over G for the rest of the song. We just keep adding those lift up middle finger hammer-ons, whatever you want to call it. And that is already the whole song. So I hope everything was clear from this tutorial, even though the song structure is pretty complicated. I still hope that you could follow what I was saying. If you did, please leave a like, and for more Gregory Alan Isakov tutorials, feel free to check out my channel and please subscribe if you enjoy those tutorials. Hope to see you there again next time. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Goodbye.